Here in Fort Worth, Texas, the Sooner Athletic Conference semifinal. Here this afternoon, the John Brown Golden Eagles and Mid-America Evangels battling for a right to play in the championship game. I'm Will Connerly alongside Brendan Snow, and this is going to be a fun one here today between the 6th seed in the Golden Eagles and the number 2 seed, the Evangels. What are you looking forward to most in this matchup? A right to play the number 2 team in the country in Langston tomorrow night in the championship game on the line.
Yeah, I'm looking very much forward to the John Brown Eagles, how hot they've gotten offensively lately. They just upset SAGU in the quarterfinals on Thursday in Waxahachie. They've gotten hot from the three-point line. They made 16 threes in that game, and we've seen a lot from the junior guard, Drew Miller. He scored over 20 points in 4 straight. JBU's gotten hot at the right time. Is it going to be enough to knock off this 2-seed Mid-American Evangels team? It's got a lot of talent. Seth Hurd down low, a big-time post player that I've seen a lot over the past few years from the Evangels. And it's going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be whoever gets hot, a game of runs, all the cliches for basketball.
It certainly will be a fun one to see. And when you look at JBU, a team that, like you mentioned, getting that big upset, 85-80 in that quarterfinal matchup, and they did it to the tune of not only upsetting a top 25 team in the nation, but they shot the 3 at a really high level, and that's what they're going to have to do today against this Evangels team who wins 11 ball games last year, go 11-17, and they turned it around under the direction of 9th-year head coach Josh Gamblin. They're 22-7 this year and the number 2 seed in this tournament, looking to play number 1 tomorrow night with this semifinal matchup in the works.
Yeah, MacU, a very deep team. They use a handful of guys off the bench. They have size down low with Maycock Manyang, the 6'10 forward out of Australia. I mentioned already Seth Hurd, what he does. He's 6'6 in the front court, does a lot, scores everywhere, rebounds well. MacU plays sound defense. They want to pressure you and force you to make mistakes. Looking forward to the Evangels and also just defending the three-point line. That has to be Coach Josh Gamblin's number 1 circle coming into this game. If we defend the three-point line, we have a great chance to win.
And you mentioned Drew Miller and Malachi Reeves for JBU, 2 guys who each had 20 points in that semifinal matchup against SAGU, and that is going to be something certainly to look forward to in this one if the number 6 seed can punch a ticket to the championship game. John Brown leads the head-to-head series 19-16. This is just the second time the two have met in postseason play, and they've split when they've met in Sooner Athletic Conference play. All-time 16-16, so a pretty even history between these two schools. And, well, maybe it will entertain us for an even game here tonight.
Yeah, and these two teams actually, they just played each other just 9 days ago, back on February 24th. It was the last game of the regular season. MacU won that game 84-79, so JBU knows they can play, obviously, with the Evangels. That game could have gone either way. JBU had the lead late, and then MacU went on a barrage of not missing shots. 10 of 10 from the free throw line down the stretch, 4 of 4 from 3. The Evangels were able to close that one out, so JBU has to remember that today. Hey, we get to a close game, we got to change some things up so we can close it out. So in that game, JBU shot the 3 ball big time, 13 of 35 from 3 in that contest, while MacU had 20 of 24 from the free throw line and 44 bench points. That's why I mentioned the Evangels, a deep team. We have 44 bench points at any level at it. You're going to win a lot.
You are, and that's what the Evangels have done this year. Like we mentioned, 22 wins, and they're coming off a quarterfinal victory over Texas Wesleyan, 79-56 in that victory in that game in the quarterfinals. And they got Seth Hurd really going this year, 12.5 points a game for him.
Yeah, Seth Hurd's been great, and even in the last game, in that win, he had 20 points in just 21 minutes. So he's efficient, makes things happen.
Absolutely. From the ASN family of platforms, this is the SAC tournament.
everything. At Postgame Kia and Tyler, we're tough, never quit.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Here in Fort Worth, Texas, on the campus of Texas Wesleyan, I'm Will Connerly alongside Brendan Snow, our great producer Jared Jones alongside with us as well. And we'll give you the starting lineups here. First for the Golden Eagles of John Brown. Drew Miller, as we mentioned, a 6'5 junior guard out of Rogers, Arkansas, gets the nod alongside Noah Taylor, a Dallas, Texas native, and a 5'11 senior guard. Malachi Reeves, a 6'4 sophomore guard from Lexington, South Carolina. Tyron Collins, a 6'7 grad student. And the forward is from Mudville, Oklahoma. And then Lucas Gabani, the Bolivar, Missouri, 6'7 forward and sophomore. And for Mid-America, it's Michael Henderson, the 6-foot grad student guard from Independence, Missouri. The Brooklyn, New York guard is Josiah Lewis, getting the nod as they make things happen. D'Angelo Adkins as well, the 6'6 senior combo from Oklahoma City. Leading scorer Seth Hurd in the lineup, the 6'6 senior forward from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then Magak Manyang getting the nod, the 6'10 junior forward out of Australia. Those are the starting lineups for each team, and we're looking forward to the opening tip coming shortly.
Yeah, we already talked about it a little bit with looking forward to the JBU offense. I'm also looking forward to on MacU. Talked about Seth Hurd, Mikael Henderson. He averages 11 points a game. Eddie Smith comes off the bench and gives you double digits per game, including last game. 13 points off the bench for Eddie Smith, the redshirt freshman, 5'11 guard out of Birmingham, Alabama. Just really plays into the depth of MacU. So I've been hearing some rumblings, people around. People think JBU can pull it off here today. But again, it's can you weather and outlast this deep MacU team?
We shall see. We'll be right back from the ASM family of platforms. This is the SAC tournament.
Wildcat team. Here's Tejada. Steps back right along the Texas-Mexico border to the Ferris logo at center court. He drives it, swatted away by Biles. Not to Mogul, over to Connor. 3 minutes left to go. Connor crossing the timeline, gets blitzed. Tipped it is Johnson. Johnson rises up and throws it down. Tie game, 42-40. Knocking on the door, 3.5 left to go in the third. They kick to Amon, who's guarded again by Tomlin. Hesitation, step crosses, and to Olivier. Ferris working the double team. Harris under the basket, throws it down, counted and one.
Under 9 to play. Nice moves on Perry. Goes Lafayette. This one is left-handed. Shot off the backboard. Rolls off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Perry. Shelby and a slam.
Flanagan, he'll let go over 3 of his own. Short front iron it off. Chris Wiseman with a defensive board. Layup and swatted again. They hand it to Carpenter, who gets a screen. Almost double team, but it gets blitzed immediately. Follow away 3 for Carpenter. Count it and the foul. Set, no, not if anyone has anything to say or do about it. Is Eli Smith. Layup's no good. 15 seconds left. Francis on the drive. Smith and a putback dunk. What a slam from Cole. And a bucket again for the Pilots. Paul King gets his 5th point. Lob pass, it is thrown down. Look out below. The Mustangs slowly but surely getting things going on the offensive end. Bounce pass under the basket and a dunk right on Ferris Hill's head. How about that?
Give it everything. At Postgame Key and Tyler, we're tough, never quit.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Back here in Fort Worth, Texas. Looking forward to this one. It's the SAC semifinals alongside Brendan Snow. I'm Will Connerly, our great producer Jared Jones here, and we thank you for watching here on the ASN family of platforms. We're looking forward to this matchup. The number 2 seed, the Evangels, and the number 6 seed, the Golden Eagles. Starting lineups being announced, and it's a good atmosphere here in the Sid Richardson Center here in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I think it's awesome that Texas Wesleyan and the Rams get an opportunity to host the championship matchup of the SAC tournament. Hadn't been done before. Typically in the past, all the games were played in Oklahoma City at OKC. So now they're starting to bounce around a little bit. It's cool for the Rams, this environment in the city, to get to see some good NAIA basketball. We already saw one of the best teams in the country in the game before in Langston, and now one of these two teams have a chance to try to upset the Mighty Lions of Langston tomorrow, but got to see who leaves all on the floor today.
Absolutely, and 2 coaches nearly there for a decade. Josh Gamblin leading the Evangels in his 9th season. Jason Besha in his 10th season at the helm with the Golden Eagles. Opening tip about to get underway. It's Miller, Taylor, Reeves, Collins, and Gabani for the Golden Eagles. Henderson, Lewis, Adkins, Hurd, and Menyang for the Evangels in the opening tip about to be underway. Menyang and Collins set for this opening tip here in the second semifinal. And it is John Brown who will start on the offensive end in a quick whistle. Looks like it might be just a shot clock issue.
Shot clock didn't match the game clock.
Just off by, 8 seconds for the game clock, 4 for the shot clock, right? So just a couple second difference.
Should be some easy math to get us back started here.
Yeah, you don't have to carry the 1, but early on, they'll try to figure it out, and John Brown will start with the basketball, a team that scores 69 points per game. And again, coming off 85 points that they put up, and they did it by great outside shooting. And they're a team that they'll get it up from outside quite a bit, Brendan.
Yeah, really both these teams are kind of from that mold. JBU, 9.3 made threes per game, 27.8 attempts, while MACU makes 8.1 threes a game and 23 attempts.
Here is Reeves, a guy who got loose last game with 20 points. Gives it out to Collins. Try to bounce pass it in the lane. Turns out to be a turnover. Then after the fact, they're going to tag Gabani with the foul. So the 6'7" forward picks up his first, and in the process, they cough it up.
Yeah, that's a really bad foul to start. The ball is already turned over. There's really no saving the play. Lucas Gabani is a big part for this team, offensively and defensively. Big 6'7" guy in the middle. Can't afford to have him missing minutes for silly fouls.
A feed inside, double coverage, and then there's going to be a walk. So each team turns it over, and they look to get it inside to Seth Hurd, the 6'6" senior who leads the team over 12 a game.
Yeah, on offense, they're going to go to him a lot down low. It's going to be him fighting with Lucas Gabani. I think they knew he already had the 1 foul when they go right back at him.
And instead, it ended up being a walk right there. It's going to be the ball tapped away by Henderson. It'll stay with John Brown.
Let's say, Will, this is the first time I've seen these MACU jerseys. I really like these whites with the M on the chest.
They give a little bit of credit, too, to the Jordan logo as well on the John Brown printed across the chest and the yellow. Some clean uniforms today with 2 teams trying to punch a ticket for the championship game tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Just 5 on the timer. Here's Reeves, step back tray. It doesn't draw any iron. Maybe Menyang got a little bit of a piece of that. Either way, it's going to be a turnover once again. So 3 turnovers on 3 possessions, 2 for John Brown, and ball back here to the Evangels.
Yeah, if I'm mistaken, we're going to count that as an official shot attempt, but that was really our first shot of the game.
They get another touch inside, giving it off to the big man, and Seth Hurd gets his own miss initially, and then they get another offensive opportunity. Henderson, he splashes it.
Big job on the second chance points. MACU in their win over JBU a week and a half ago, rebounding the ball offensively very well.
He shoots 38% from the floor, 35% from downtown, and he's good on his first attempt from outside. Here's Reeves, and he gets called for the carry, trying to get loose on that baseline that time, and he turns it over. So John Brown, early on, they've committed 3 turnovers.
Yeah, and haven't really got a quality look at the basket yet for any of those shooters. Haven't even called Drew Miller's name at all.
And here on the other side for Mac U, they score on a 3 last possession, and it came after an offensive rebound. Getting a second chance opportunity. Skipped over to the corner. Try to find Adkins. Now they feed it inside. Getting busy early, Seth Hurd, but not able to make that in the paint. And John Brown cleans it up. You can see early on, though, they want to get the ball to the big man, and why not for a guy who leads the team in scoring?
Yeah, that can open up other shooters later.
Top of the key, 3, strong on the attempt there from Drew Miller. And in transition, it's put up and strong from Henderson going for his second. Revis up the floor, and he'll draw contact. He got the rebound and took it all the way to the rim.
Yeah, that was big Seth Hurd, picked up the foul and went to the grounds. First on Hurd.
And you get another look right there, and it's Reeves, a guy, a sophomore, 6'4" guard, gets 13 points a night, shoots 70% at the foul line, and he's true on his first attempt.
And that win over Sagu, you already mentioned he had 22 points, 9 rebounds. He was 8 of 10 from the free throw line in that contest.
And you see the ability to get to the cup as well as attack a guy like Hurd in transition. You think they want to take advantage of that with their guards in Miller, and then, of course, what Reeves can do going for another at the foul line.
Had a couple subs. Seth Hurd checks out, only not even quite 3 minutes into the first quarter, 17:04 remaining. First half.
And a good trip there by Reeves. Lexington, South Carolina native who played at Link Prep, was offered by NCAA Division II school North Greenville, as that's off the mark as Lewis can't connect from outside. It's back here to Josh Stewart. You mentioned a couple of subs coming in on both sides.
Not a lot of movement right now from the JBU offense. Even heard the coaches over here saying just standing around.
Reeves gives it for an outside 3 by Drew Miller, and there's a foul called on the attempt. They're going to tag Michael Henderson for the foul, so that's going to be a trip right back to the line for the Golden Eagles. We'll get another look at this replay. Just hard closeout and ultimately 3 foul shots because of it, and it's going to be Drew Miller, a guy who's even better at the stripe, 75%.
Well, yeah, and he draws the hard closeout because how good of a shooter he is.
Yes.
Again, he was 7 of 14 from the three-point line in the win over Sagu and putting up 29 points. He scored over 20 in 4 straight. He makes around 5 threes per game.
And the impressive thing about him, the 6'5" junior guard, ability to shoot and stretch it at that level on the floor. He gets 16 and 7 a night, along with a couple assists, shoots 40% from the floor. And before this game was honored as a second-team all-conference selection. And for good reason, as the Golden Eagles now lead by 2 points, and they've made it work tonight here at the foul line. 5 foul shots have accounted for their buckets in this one. I guess no buckets, but they've got him at the foul line. Lewis crossed over through traffic in the lane, leaves it short. Rebound picked up by Drew Miller, a guy who gets 7 boards a night.
JBU switched to a zone defense on that series, went to a 2-3 after starting a man.
Reeves gets the pump fake, and instead it's cleaned up, and that's Manyang on the glass. 6'10" junior. He's trying to bring the ball inside. It's swiped away by Reeves. Picked up here by Stewart. Good work by John Brown to force that, and then a foul back up the other end. I mean, you know they want to get the ball inside to Manning, especially without Hurd on the floor, but just had it a little too far away from the bucket, resulted in a turnover and then a foul thereafter.
Yeah, and I really like Magok Manning. He can do a lot, averages around 8 points a game, 6 rebounds, and he can shoot it. He'll let it fly from the outside. He's made 30 of 89 three-point attempts, about a 33.7% clip.
And so it's going to be Gabani who gets back into the game for JBU. Collins comes off. That foul was called on Quentin Woodson, the 6'5 junior forward. That's his first. But that was the third for the Evangels, just one on the Golden Eagles thus far, who have the ball just up by a couple. And we'll see if they can score from the floor. They've had 5 from the foul line on 5 tries, but about to start, they're 0 for 2 from the floor. And it's a reason why they're just 0 for 2 is because they have been coughing it up with plenty of turnovers. Another one right there.
Already the fourth.
And back inside, though, it's Lewis who can't connect. It's McHugh, who's now 1 of 8 from the floor, just shooting 12.5%. High with the left-handed shot. It goes off. We've just seen 1 field goal in this game between the two teams on 11 total shots.
Yeah, I didn't have the offensive struggling this mightily on my bingo card.
Well, we'll see what that bingo card has in store for the final 14.5 here in half number 1 of this semifinal matchup. From the corner, and that's off the mark as well from Adkins from outside. But you're right, a mighty struggle to start for both teams. And there's a rejection. Talk about the defense, and it's Manning who comes up with a swat.
Man, he's good for about 1 point, a block and a half per game. When you have a 6'10 frame, he does. His length and athleticism, he's always lurking backside.
Magok Manning hails originally from Australia, started at New Mexico Junior College, a 6'10 athletic forward, and a guy who, at the end of the day, can play out there. He comes off, but plays out there along with Hurd. That's a lot of size in the painted area. And there's a foul, so again, it's going to be Lucas Gabani this time heading.
And it was on Seth Hurd, who just checked back in, his second.
Yeah, quick second. He went off early, and now you've got your leading scorer for the Evangels who's been called for 2. Is he going to be left out there?
And no one got up to the table for the Evangels yet.
And it's Lucas Gabani, a guy who shoots 68% at the line, was an all-freshman team selection last year in his second season at JBU from Bolivar, Missouri, and the 6'7 sophomore. Connects at both on the line, and how about it? They are perfect at the charity stripe here in this game. 7 of 7. It's accounted for all their points. And they've scored 7 of the first 10 in this game. 3 corner hits off the side of the window on the attempt from Calvin. And then a timeout. Nope, shot clock, excuse me. Official is going to adjust it back to 17 seconds.
Yeah, ball didn't draw iron.
It did not. It hit off the side of the window, and, well, in this game so far, teams are of a combined 1 for 14 from the floor. McHugh, 1 of 10. They just have 1 field goal. It came from a three-pointer from Henderson. Deep 2, and in the face, a tough shot knocked down. Eddie Smith getting it done. The 6th man of the year in the conference comes off the bench with a much-needed bucket.
Yeah, instant offense, what you love out of your 6 man. Someone can score on his own, those tough 2s, just get a shot off.
John Brown looking for their first field goal still. They've made it happen at the foul line. Missed right there, and again, they have to reset the shot clock because the same thing that happened on the other end of the floor didn't draw any iron on the air ball.
This one was a little closer. I can see maybe how you could miss C from an angle, but yeah, it came up short. So they reset the shot clock to 10 rather than 20.
And that breaks up the possession. Certainly when you go get an offensive rebound or get a miss and you want to put it right back in the hole, or try to get it in the cup from an offensive rebound. I mean, that's the one bucket today, at least, that MacU has, is coming off a second chance point until they just scored on the other end of the floor. And obviously for John Brown, they're looking to get things going in the half court. It's been more so just the foul line that they've made it happen, but maybe from here it happens. It does. Malachi Reeves knocks it down from outside.
That was the best look so far JBU's gotten in the first 7 minutes of the game, and gets one of your three best shooters. They have another one in Noah Taylor who can really light it up.
Here's Eddie Smith, another deep two for him. And that's left short. Rebound collected by Collins. Look at Reeves go to work. It's in and out, and it's cleaned up on the glass by Terrence Gaines. Back up for Eddie Smith, trying to provide a lift off the bench. And that triple's lined up there. Terrence Gaines is a shooter out of Denison, Texas, and he gets it from downtown.
He really doesn't shoot a lot. 6 of 17 on the season coming in from three, 35%. That's a real big added bonus. He's able to knock down one here.
They needed it. Getting a couple buckets as of late now, just down by a couple. The Evangels, the number 2 seed in this tournament. John Brown, the 6th seed, coming off an upset. The 25th ranked team in the country, as Collins isn't able to collect it. And Sharp picks up the miss. From out front, and it's nothing but nylon right there. Eddie Smith has come into the game, and he's starting to rip the nets apart a little bit from outside this time.
Yeah, I mentioned 13 in their last matchup. He was a big difference maker against JBU. Played 20 minutes off the bench, was 6 of 6 on the free throw line, and could just score from all 3 levels.
Turnover over in the corner with the catch from Collins. Ball back to the Evangels, who now lead by a point after Eddie Smith is able to connect on what is the 3rd 3-point field goal converted on here for MacU.
Let's see, keep an eye on JBU defensively. Obviously been playing great defense, as MacU was just 4-14 shooting, but 3 of 7 from 3. Now starting to get hot from outside. They went back to the man defense of the Golden Eagles.
From the corner, and that's left short from Sharp. Rebound by John Brown. They try to get an early post touch. It's Reeves. Kick out to Miller. Nice pass back to Reeves, and it's off the mark. Calavan gets the rebound. Connor Calavan out of Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. Handoff off to Gaines. Touching the paint, he falls down. That's a walk. And it'll be a turnover. 8 turnovers between the two teams now. 5 on John Brown, 3 now for MacU.
Yeah, they're two teams that don't traditionally turn it over a whole lot. I mean, 13 a game for John Brown. Right around the same for MacU, 12.6. But in the last matchups, only had 9 and 7 apiece.
Interesting thing in this game was the offensive struggles early. While John Brown's struggling from the floor still, with that made bucket, they're now just 2 for 9 from the floor after Stewart gets it in. But being 2 of 9 from the field and winning right now, 12-11.
Yeah, that's make you feel good. Now here's that 2-3 zone from the Golden Eagles again.
And how about Reeves nearly getting in the passing lane? Instead, it's by Calavan, who lines up a triple, and it's nothing but net for him. Connor Calavan knocking it down. That's a timeout. And from the ASN family of platforms, this is the SAC tournament. Texas. It is the Evangels who lead by 2 right now, midway through this first half of action, and they lead by a couple. They're 5 of 16 from the floor, but 4 of their 5 field goals have come from downtown. Alongside Brendan Snow, I'm Will Connerly. And we're happy to be with you alongside Jared Jones as well. We're glad you're with us here on the ASN family of platforms. As there is a foul. Going up was Quentin Woodson, and now he'll head to the foul line. This is the first time today that MacU has gone to the foul line. Much different because for John Brown, 7 of their 12 points have been scored there.
Yeah, and MacU getting a little bit of a pickup ever since, well, obviously when Eddie Smith checked in, but also with Terrence Gaines. I remember Terrence Gaines from a game earlier this year against Texas Wesleyan. He just comes in and does a bunch of the other annoying things. He rebounds, he's scrappy, he's athletic in the open court. He knocked down a 3 already and has 2 rebounds, and he would get the assist here if you got these assists for free throws. Unfortunately, he didn't as Woodson got fouled, but he set this play up.
And the 3-pointers have been big. It was the first 3 that was made of the game by Henderson, then a drought, but then recently they've been able to get it in from outside. Obviously, Eddie Smith, Calavan, which forced that timeout as well. And they're 4 of 9 from outside. And a turnover here. Here comes the Evangels, the steal and the score for Michael Henderson.
Strong pressure defense all the way up at the half court.
Opening up a 6-point edge. Easy look down low, and Drew Miller, just like he was in the layup line, wide open off the glass.
Yeah, well set up by Noah Taylor on the baseline drive.
John Brown, we mentioned their 3-point shooting ability as Calavan misses the trifecta in the pregame, but it's been what they've done inside the arc and getting to the line that have helped them in this game, despite trailing by 4 against the number 2 seed. And a foul going to be called against Eddie Smith. That's his first, but it is going to be the 5th against the Evangels, so a couple away from the 1-1. They'll try to avoid extra foul shots for a team who hasn't missed one in this game, 7 of 7.
Yeah, both these teams kind of playing their opposite scripts a little bit. MacU shooting more from outside, 4 of 10 from 3. JBU only 4 3-point attempts and the 1 make. So you have to feel like there's going to be a time later where JBU is going to shoot a handful of threes in succession and maybe make 3 of them, and can MacU weather that storm.
Down by 4 with the rock, looking for a good look, looking for some momentum. Maybe the 3s can fall here. Nope, off the mark from Drew Miller. And it's picked up by the Evangels, who have cleaned it up defensively on the glass, have not allowed an offensive rebound. Well, they've gathered 3, and it's helped them get extra shots here in this one. Lining up the triple, and how about it? That's bottoms for Michael Henderson, another 3. They've hit 5 on 11 attempts, and they open up now a 7-point lead as we have another timeout. From the ASN family of platforms, this is the SAC tournament.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Another timeout is called. We're about to be back with you here in Fort Worth, Texas, alongside Brendan Snow. I'm Will Connerly. Jared Jones along with us as well. And a 7-point lead now for MacU. They have heated up. 5 of 11 now from outside after that most recent make.
Yeah, I mentioned beating JBU at their own game right now. Another turnover for the Golden Eagles stepping on the sideline. Will, I know this is your first game here at the Sid Richardson. I've been doing it for a while, and something about this sideline, if you look at it, it's light tan. It almost kind of matches the court color. It tricks a lot of players. There's a lot of odd out-of-bounds calls that you get at this court.
And I know it would trick a guy like Brendan Snow as well, because he wants to pull up from logos, so he wants to extend range, and a lot of these players do. And so you might have to beware, right? Because you might be stepping out of bounds, especially with the three-point arc. I mean, you don't have much room in those corners.
Yeah, with how much you try to space the floor, especially in the corners, from open up for the big guys down low. Force some turnovers down there. We got another clock issue.
But a 7-point lead right now for Mac U. They've done it with great three-point shooting. And for JBU, a team that has turned the ball over 7 times, it was early on they really started coughing it up. And they're just 3 of 12 from the floor right now. Henderson off to Lewis. A drive and kick and good steal there by Noah Taylor. They get it in the high post to Collins. And he can't connect from the elbow. Rebound picked up by Calavan.
And there it is again, one and done for JBU. Still no offensive rebounds.
It's been the Evangels who have just crashed on the offensive glass. How about from 3? Man, oh man, they're raining it. Magak Manyang from outside, just 33% on the season. But he lines up that triple. He's stretching the floor at 6'10".
6 3-pointer in 13 minutes for Mac U, jumping out to a 10-point lead.
That's what you call a stretch 5. Everybody's stretching the floor right now. They are 6 of 12 from outside, and they open up their largest lead now to double figures. How about shooting 50% from 3, but just 40% from the floor? They're 6 of 12 from outside.
And 2 of 8 from two-point land. The 2 of 2 from the free throw line.
If you're making half your three-point shots, you might not be shooting enough from out there as Malachi Reeves gets a bucket off the out-of-bounds set. A much-needed bucket at that, as he's got 7. Henderson leading the way. He's got 8 points for Mac U. Can he go again from outside? It's in and out from Manyang.
And when you have a center stretch on the floor like that, it just makes it so hard on a defense. What do you do? Do you sit back? Does your paint protector have to come out of the paint? Puts a lot of pressure on defenses as another travel and a turnover.
And it's got to be frustrating for John Brown right now because this run for Mac U is happening without Seth Hurd on the floor, a guy who's picked up a couple fouls, but you got Manyang, a guy in the paint who's stretching the floor, and then they try to get it inside, force it inside, but they're coughing the ball up.
Yeah, just 14 shot attempts because of the 7 turnovers. Well, Mid-American Christian has shot the ball 21 times. All they does just come down to getting shots up.
And there's a turnover, trying to thread the needle inside, and it's a steal by Gabani. Reeves step back in transition, and there again, crashing the glass. Manyang picks up the miss. They've cleaned it on the windows today. Not allowing extra opportunities for a John Brown offense. Is coming in hot after making tons of threes in their quarterfinal upset, and a foul is called. Defensively, Noah Taylor, guy who grew up not too far from here in Dallas, Texas, but gets tagged for the foul.
It just goes to show when you get to conference tournaments and the postseason play in basketball, whether it's college, NBA, the defenses really tighten up, make things tougher. These are teams that Mac U normally averages 76.5 points per game, while John Brown right at 70 points per game. Right now, neither team really on the way to that mark.
Tape measure time. Michael Henderson from way downtown. Man, oh man, 27-16 from the ASN family of platforms. This is the SAC tournament. We're back with you out of the timeout. Michael Henderson, before we went to break, made one from outside. He leads all scorers with 11 right now, and he is feeling it from range in this game. He's 3 for 4 from downtown.
And as you said in the last one, tape measure time, 6 feet behind the line, out here right in front of the JBU bench and head coach.
Everybody's getting the tape measures out in this game. They're 7 of 14. But how about Josh Stewart? He's trying to get a three-point play of his own, the old-fashioned way, as you get another look.
One of those circus shots with the left hand falling off the sideline on the baseline.
The impressive plays going into the timeout and coming out of it there as the 6'4 sophomore will try to keep John Brown perfect at the line. They're 7 of 7 so far in this game. And they don't stay perfect, but they do make it 27-18 after the bucket.
Yeah, they kind of gotten away from their free throw line after the first about 5-7 minutes of the half.
Here's Eddie Smith. He provided a surge off the bench after a slow start for MacU, but they've started to cut it apart from outside. And now a look inside. Kick back out to Smith. He has a drive and kick out. Manning, who's made one, back out to the hot hand, but Henderson not able to connect. Rebound is pulled down by Reeves. MacU today, 7 of 15 from outside. And inside, rejected is Gabani, picked up by MacU. He lines it up again, and this time Manning not able to connect after making his first. He's missed his last 2. He's wanting to stretch it.
Yeah, great defense on the last sequence. It was Quentin Woodson on the block down low on Lucas Gabani.
And there's a turnover. Josh Stewart trying to thread a needle inside.
Yeah, we just got to start crediting it more and more to the Evangels defense. No easy passing lanes for the Golden Eagles. They can't get to their offense, not getting to their spots. We've only seen 2 good looks from beyond the three-point line. Everything else has been a tough shot attempt. 1 of 5 from 3 and 5 of 17 from the field, 29% for JBU.
The Evangels have committed 6 fouls, so have to be careful over the final 3:40 in this first half. Not allow a John Brown team who scored 7 of their 18 points at the stripe. Here in the first half, they're 7 of 8 at the line.
There it is.
Easy bucket and a flush down low. Tyron Collins hammers the rim.
Because you have so many shooters on the court, space it out, run a pick and roll. There was nobody in the paint defensively for MacU. One of the easier points you'll get if you're Collins.
They cut it to just a 7-point game. Calavan back to Henderson. Henderson, 3 threes already in the first half. A touchdown low to Woodson. A lot of action in this game without Seth Hurd, their leading scorer, but it's been the Evangels who have made it happen with Michael Henderson.
Speaks of the depth of this team. Talked about it in the pregame.
Going for it and getting it. Trey Otting getting it done, the freshman with a big shot. An all-freshman team selection. The Springfield, Missouri native pulling up from downtown to make it a 4-point game. Back to Henderson. He gets fouled, and he'll head to the line for the first time today and try to add to his 11-point total with 3 foul shots coming up.
Yeah, Trey Otting, who just hit the 3 on the other end for JBU, commits the foul, might get the 3 points right back. A little overzealous on defense. Each team has fouled a 3-point shooter in this first half. Earlier, Drew Miller for the Golden Eagles got fouled. He made all 3.
Foul shots for MacU. The first one connected by Henderson. He misses the second. A guy who shoots 81% at the foul line, and that miss Well, it was just the second miss we've seen today from the foul line from either team combined. Pretty good foul shooting here in this semifinal matchup.
Yeah, points been hard to come by, so where they call them free throws for a reason. They're supposed to come easy. Both teams shooting well now, but how will they come later in the game when your legs are tired in the second half? I'll see who knocks down more free throws then.
And the story in this second part of this second half has been the three-point ability from MacU. They're 7 of 16, shooting better from three than they are from the floor. Otting inside, and how about a couple tough buckets for the freshman?
Yeah, again, using the Tyron Collins ball screen, playing off of it, froze the defender a little bit on the hesitation.
Reeves set to check back in at the next whistle. Just about 90 seconds left in this first half. Lewis coughs it up. Here come the Golden Eagles up the floor. Stewart lines one up in transition, and he's got it. Josh Stewart all fired up, and why not? It's a one-point game, and a timeout is called. We'll be right back from the ASN family of platforms. This is the SAC tournament.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
That's under review right now after the three from Josh Stewart. They're checking to see if the foot was on the line. We'll get a call here in a moment, but they are checking to see if it was indeed a three-pointer or not from Josh Stewart. Either way, it's a one-point or two-point game right now.
Yeah, and you can see the confidence building up for JBU. Josh Stewart on that shot, whether it was three or two. He turned around, it was almost Steph Curry-like. He kind of turned around before the ball went in or put his hands down. He knew immediately the ball left his hands. Yep. It was in. As we now get the official call, it was a three.
And it is a three. The call is confirmed. Josh Stewart pulling in transition to make it a one-point game. And that's the ability we talked about from outside. Both teams shooting above 42% from range. 3 of 7 for John Brown, 7 of 16 for MacU. They have lit it up from outside. But just a one-point game. Just about a minute to play in half number one. Here's Calavan. Trying to touch multiple sides. Screen comes. Lewis is going to use it, but he leaves it short. Offensive rebound from Woodson. He puts it right back in and gives the "you're too little" celebration back up the floor.
Yeah, Quentin Woodson's a player that's been at MacU for a while. Listed as a junior. I saw him as a freshman a couple years ago, and he can be a difference maker. It's a very interesting game inside. He'll knock down a couple threes, and he'll fight.
And there's a turnover picked up by Smith. Smith gets stopped in transition, looks for a shooter, and it's back out to Lewis. And you mentioned Woodson. He's played there for a while. Well, Woodsons have been there for a while. His brother played at MacU from 2017 to 2020. So a lot of Woodsons in the painted area over the last 6-7 years. 10 seconds left in the first half. 4 on the timer. Shot good. What a dagger from Eddie Smith. 2 seconds left in the first half. Long heave, and it's good! A bucket at the buzzer for Malachi Reeves. A deep three. The bank is open for him. And we go to the locker room. 33-31. The Evangels up by 2 after Reeves got it off in the nick of time from downtown. How about that shot from way outside?
Yeah, we saw a very similar thing in the first game with Langston and Waylon Baptist. The Lions had about a half-court it was a regular three-point buzzer beater, but it was a hard shot. It gave Langston a lot of momentum going into the locker room. That game was much closer at half than what that game ended up being a 20-point game. So we'll see if John Brown's able to build a lot of momentum after a shot like that.
Absolutely. It is Malachi Reeves, a deep three to make it a 2-point game at the locker room. MacU leading by a couple, and we will take a break from the ASN family of platforms. This is the SAC tournament.
Everything. At Pelche Kia and Tyler, we're tough, never quit.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
We're back with you here in Fort Worth, Texas, and at halftime it's 33-31. MacU with the lead right now. They lead just by a couple points here at halftime, and they went 7 of 16 from three-point range in the first half. Well, we'll take another timeout from the ASN family of platforms. This is the SAC tournament.
Everything. At Pelche Kia and Tyler, we're tough, never quit.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Here at halftime in Fort Worth, Texas, Mid-America Christian. MacU leading by a couple against John Brown, 33-31 the score at halftime. Alongside Brendan Snow, I'm Will Connerly and Jarrett Jones with us as well. We're having a fantastic time in Fort Worth, Texas at the Sid Richardson Center. The winner of this game, a tight one right now, will go on to play the number 2 team in the nation, Langston, tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Well, both of these teams already showing off that, you know what, conventional offense for suckers. It's 2024. Starting off 7 straight points for JBU at the charity stripe. Brandon, as you said earlier, definitely wasn't on my bingo card. Wasn't on yours. Well, I don't think it was on yours.
I didn't have one, but I'd tell you it would not be on it. I'll tell you that now.
Well, if you had 3-point shooting in the latter half of the first half on your bingo card, that definitely got checked off. Mac, you got hot from downtown early on. A couple of momentum swinging plays, but so far the score is pretty much a perfect example as to what we've seen. A pretty tight-knit game in terms of the numbers. Mid-America with the advantage in per-game totals for points as well as rebounds. Turnovers knotted up at 13, field goal percentage at 46. But if you look at John Brown, they're shooting 45.5%. So rounded up 46%. MacU shooting just below 40 at 37. So not too many ways you can really differentiate these two teams. One thing I do want to point out, though, is, Randy, you mentioned this multiple times throughout the broadcast, is the ability of the MacU front court to stretch the floor. The forwards have not only been able to clean the boards, but they've also been able to knock down the three at a consistently high clip. Maniac specifically at 6'10". How many 6'10" guys do you know can dominate the air as he has on the defensive side of the ball and knock down threes consistently? I mean, 1 or 2 threes is fine. But to hit as many as he has, it's a fantastic arrow to have in the quiver if you're MacU and the Evangels here at the half.
Yeah, it's something that really sticks out to me that I was talking about a lot pregame. The bench for MacU, 17 bench points from Connor Calvin, Eddie Smith, Terrence Gaines, and Quentin Whitson. And while JBU's bench has also contributed with 12 points, from 7 from Josh Stewart and 5 from Trey Oding. But that's what I was talking about when we get later into the game, when MacU's still running this bench with Seth Hurd, their leading scorer, only playing 3 minutes in the first half. You have to feel pretty good if you're the Evangels, still holding on to this 2-point lead without playing your best half of basketball. But at the same time, I think JBU could also feel good about the first half, that they're only down 2 points while turning the ball over 10 times and shooting 10 of 22 from the field. It looks better now at 45.5%. It was down to around 29% earlier in the first half.
And if you're John Brown, you only allowed 4 points in the paint in the first half. You know, Brendan, you go into a game, and Jared, you go into a game and a coach defensively, especially in a postseason game, you want to say, let's protect the paint. And they've protected it. They've allowed 4 paint points, and they're down at halftime, despite only allowing 4 points in the paint. That was an interesting thing. And I think when we talk about the paint, maybe a reason why they didn't get going is because Seth Hurd didn't have a ton of action, their leading scorer for the Evangels on the season, but not so far in the first half. It's been the Michael Henderson show with the Baker's dozen, 13 points to lead all scorers at the break.
Well, yeah, they've made and attempted more three-pointers than two-pointers. 7 of 16 from 3, 4 of 13. I'm trying to think again. Yeah, 4 of 13 from 2 for Mid-American Christian. Again, 7 of 16 from 3. So they're figuring out, hey, we can't score down there. Let's space them out and get it going out here. And then, because you can play basketball kind of one or two ways. You start outside to open up the inside, or start inside to open up the outside. I think MacU wanted to start inside with Seth Hurd and open up the shooters. Instead, Seth Hurd gets in foul trouble. The offense gets hot from 3. Now it's opening it up out there. The second half might see a little more dives and cuts and slips to the rim.
And those bench points, Jared?
Well, credit to MacU. Seth Hurd out of the game early. A lot of teams, especially at this point in the postseason, it's really an opportunity for the main guys to be the main guys. As we saw earlier today in the Langston game, the Conference Player of the Year played like the Conference Player of the Year. That's fair to say. But for MacU, Hurd out of the game in foul trouble, as you guys mentioned, throughout the first half of the contest. They found ways to get around it. They found ways to keep their offense going, to keep points on the board. Now they see themselves coming in with a brand new 20 minutes on the clock, an entire half of basketball to play, and up two. Even though you're the number 2 seed, you still have to face adversity. MacU responded well coming into the second half. I expect them to continue to stay consistent and wait for Hurd to return in the latter half of the game.
Really good point. And another thing, Brendan, that you pointed out in that first half was the way that MacU, even without maybe some key guys, they cleaned up on the glass, not allowing an offensive rebound in the first 20 minutes of action.
Yeah, 14 defensive rebounds for JBU, 12 defensive for Mid-America Christian, but 4 offensive rebounds to 0. That's 7 second chance points for MacU to none for JBU.
And we'll get the second half of action on the other side of this break from the ASN family of platforms. This is the SAC tournament.
Everything. At Pelche Key and Tyler, we're tough, never quit.
Second half. And they get it inside to Hurd. We mentioned he had a long stint on the bench, picking up a couple early fouls in the first half. He has a miss, but Menyang gets the O board, and they'll head to the line early, just about 15 seconds into this second half. And it will be Menyang who heads to the foul line.
And that's when MacU was able to have both their bigs in the game. Haven't got to see it much in the first half. Just 3 minutes from Seth Hurd, but he draws that attention down low. A second defender comes to help, opens up weak side, and offensive rebound chances for the big guy, Menyang.
Yeah, that was interesting. He picked up a quick foul, came out, and then picked up another one immediately. And like you said, limited action in the first half for a guy who averages 12.5 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, shoots 56% from the floor. And now you get them both on the floor at the same time. And so that will be a big positive. But right now, they're resetting the foul count on the scoreboard. As you see, it's 1-0. Golden Eagles have committed 1 foul as we're just underway in this second half. On the scoreboard, it still had the foul totals from half number 1, but they quickly fix it.
Surprisingly, a low fouling first half, just 4 on John Brown, 6 on Mac U. Felt like the Evangels had a lot more, but it was just because they got them all early. And JBU shot those 7 free throws to start the game.
Menyang makes a couple of foul shots. It's back off here to Reeves, who hit a buzzer-beating shot to beat the buzzer to end half number 1. Menyang getting right back to it, and a block is called on his pursuit to the rim. He's got 5 points after he just made a couple at the line. And this one just going to be called on the floor on his drive, as MacU will inbound it from the baseline as Josh Stewart set to check in, hit a big 3 to pull John Brown within a point late in the first half, and he checks back in as Noah Taylor comes off.
Well, Noah Taylor just picked up his 3rd foul. He picked up both fouls here to start this half in 33 seconds. That's a tough blow. He's a big-time shooter for them, the best in the country. As a 3-point shooter, Noah Taylor.
Inside, they look to get it to Hurd. Puts it on the deck, goes up, leaves it short. Gabani tried defensively to get it done, but instead it's Menyang who eats in the paint once again.
Yeah, Menyang just took that one away from Lucas Gabani. He's fighting there, trying to get the rebound against Seth Hurd on the front end. Menyang takes it away from behind him, takes the bump and the foul. 3 fouls on John Brown in the first 46 seconds.
And he's able to convert a 3-point play good for Magat Menyang. He had a 3 in the first half. Now he gets a traditional 3-point play. And a strong start for him, already up to 8 points on the total now. Obviously, Henderson has led the way offensively for them. So how can the Golden Eagles adjust here? Like you said, picking up fouls and allowing MacU to head to the foul line early in this second half.
Well, yeah, JBU's also they're not a defensive team. They don't win games because of their defense. They win it because of offense. They have to find a spark because Tyron Collins will knock one down.
And you give credit to John Brown. Collins with a good shot, like you mentioned, but they're a team that was down by 11 with 5 minutes to go in the first half. And they cut it to a 2-point deficit at the break, and how about it? Coming out of the locker room with vengeance, Magat Menyang is lighting it up in the second half, and he stretches it again from downtown.
His second made 3-pointer, this one from the corner, and now he picks up the block.
You're talking 6'10". Man, an LSU Eunice transfer shoots 33%. He gets 9 and 6 a night. And man, he gets another 3. A guy who, just had 5 threes on the year coming in?
Yeah, you said 9 and 6 traditionally per game. He's got 11 and 6 already.
Wide open 3, but it's an air ball there from Collins. As they gave room to the 6'7" forward, and he took it, but it's MacU who will live with that.
Yeah, that's tough. Tyron Collins, they ask a lot out of him. 6'7" forward, 10 points, 6 rebounds a game. He works hard down there, but he's struggled in the first half. I believe he had 4 turnovers. Now that air ball, 2 of 5 shooting overall.
Going again from outside the lefty with a strap. D'Angelo Adkins knocking it down, and it's 44-33, 17:56 left. And from the ASN family of platforms, this is the SAC tournament.
Everything. At Pelche Kia and Tyler, we're tough, never quit.
in Fort Worth, Texas, and a man who rolled up into Fort Worth, Texas, born in Australia, went to New Mexico Junior College, Magak Manyang. He is stretching the floor here today. How about it? 6'10" stretch, and he gets it done from out there. Brendan Snow, Will Connerly with you, alongside Jared Jones, and man, how about Manyang today?
Yeah, Manyang and the whole Evangels team just lighting it up from downtown. 9 of 18 from 3, beating JBU at their own game. That's what got the Golden Eagles here, is hot shooting. They've been on the wrong end of it, especially starts the second half.
50% from downtown, like you mentioned, 9 of 18. Manyang at 6'10", knocking down a couple. And they're having a good time from the arc as a foul is called. Josh Stewart with the bump. And JBU's committed 4 fouls now in the early going in this second half of action.
John Brown's in danger of the wheels falling off here. You have to figure out something here. That's why Coach Besha took a full timeout. We kind of heard him laying into the Golden Eagles a little bit to our right. He knows that this game could kind of tip the scale right here if you don't figure it out.
And the Evangels, number 2 seed in this bracket, looking for their 7th consecutive victory, looking for a date with the number 2 team in the nation tomorrow night in the championship game. Here in the Sooner Athletic Conference tournament here in Fort Worth, Texas. And right now, they are being outshot from a percentage standpoint. John Brown shooting 46% from the floor, but they've taken 10 less shots. Offensive rebounds and turnovers have limited their opportunities today. And another blow up from 3. It's strong in the shot clock. Violation, no iron drawn there. And John Brown will get the basketball back. Well, you talk about Mac U with Seth Hurd and Manyang and the rest of the crew. I mean, they have cleaned it up on the glass. No offensive rebounds still allowed, and that's also limited John Brown to having 10 less opportunities despite a better percentage from the floor.
Yeah, Mac U's kept them off the boards and forced turnovers. The little things that, you mentioned we talk about keys to the game, and you forget how big and large those components play in a ball game. It's not just all about the shooting. It's the boxing out, the fighting down low, and the defense from Mac U forcing these turnovers. Again, 11-2 to start the second half.
Lining it up, and once again another air ball from outside, but it works as a pass and put in from Malachi Reeves. There's your first offensive rebound.
Well, he gets some points there, but Tyron Collins lost all confidence.
They try to skip it to the corner. Instead, it's to the bleachers and a turnover. Malachi Reeves has a dozen. Had 20 plus. He and Drew Miller each going for 20 in their upset over Sagu. And we'll see if they can't get going down the stretch here.
That's what I'm saying. Drew Miller hit 7 threes in that game on 14 attempts. He's 0 for 2 today.
And how about Michael Henderson? He is 15 points on the night, and he got the 2 easiest. An easy steal and score for him out of the inbound. Josh Stewart just coughed it up. Foul is called on the drive by Lucas Gabani, a Bolivar, Missouri native.
Third on Hurd.
And they'll have to sub out Seth Hurd. 3 fouls and no points for their leading scorer. From Tulsa, Oklahoma, was at Central Oklahoma. And shooting 56% from the floor, but no points today, and he goes to the bench with his 3rd.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to really be out there on Lucas Gabani, out there at the three-point line. Gabani has not attempted a 3 this year, but Mac U just playing tight pressure defense everywhere.
5 on the timer. Can Drew Miller make something happen? Back off to Reeves. He splashes it. Reeves is fired up because he's had a game so far. 15 for him, and they make it a tighter 8-point affair. Henderson. Out to Lewis, directing traffic, doesn't want to use the screen. Now he does. Crossover and near turnover back to Henderson. Sets his feet. He's going to penetrate, get into the rack. How about Henderson making it happen? He's from Independence, Missouri, and he was independent of all the defenders there. Breaking the ankles, and how about a jam? D'Angelo Atkins raising the roof.
The press in the second half from the Evangels. 2 steals in the backcourt for 4 easy points, and another turnover on JBU, 14.
JBU struggling to bring the ball across the timeline on numerous occasions. And right there, a hammer coming after from D'Angelo Atkins from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And a big left-handed hammer. Now the official having some words with Jason Beshka saying, hey, I got it. I got the foul. And they did call it. John Brown has the basketball, and, well, the Golden Eagles, largest deficit of the game for them, is here right now. How can they dig deep? Reeves going to line one up, and he buries. How about Malachi Reeves? 18.
Yeah, right now Malachi Reeves kind of tell the rest of the Golden Eagles, say, I'm going to lead the way. Who's going to come with me? He needs his running mate, Drew Miller, to get going.
Woodson gives it out to the lefty, Adkins. Back out to Smith, and it's in and out from way downtown. Offensive board from Woodson. Back out to Henderson. He's got 17 on the night. And now Smith. He calls for a screen. Bounce pass inside. They give it off to Magak Menyang, and he'll head to the foul line.
Lucas Gabani hit the deck hard. A little slow getting up. That's a lot of mass hitting the court.
There's another look at that big left-handed slam, which you saw moments ago from D'Angelo Atkins, which put them up by a dozen, their largest lead. And like you mentioned, it happened after not being able to bring the ball across the timeline. And right here, you got Menyang at the foul line, 11 points on the game so far.
Impressed how much he's getting to the line here in the second half.
He's got 11, now 12 and 6. And like you said, overall, foul shooting, that was the calling card for John Brown. Their first 7 points came at the foul line, but they're 7 of 8 right now. They haven't scored at the charity stripe since their first 7 points of the day came from the foul line. And like you said, MacU, 8 of 9, make it 9 of 10 now at the stripe. They've been true on their shots, and they've made 9 3-pointers. John Brown, 6 of 12, 50% right now from outside. Both teams lighting it up. Menyang with a rejection on the shot there from Stewart.
The second block for Menyang. He's been a difference maker.
Menyang, too strong. Man, he is feeling it a little bit today. You can't blame him. He's had a little bit more liberty to shoot the basketball because uncharacteristic of Seth Hurd to not be playing much today because of foul trouble. He's been on the floor more with space, and while he's taking advantage of it, launching it from outside.
Yeah, Menyang's been active. I saw him wave off Coach Gamble earlier, give him a thumbs up, saying he wanted to stay in the game.
Drew Miller. Bottoms, Drew Miller, a guy like you said coming off a 7 3-point game, looking to continue.
That's big if they're able to get Drew Miller going. This is his first made 3.
Eddie Smith off the heel.
The glass.
Woodson on the glass, he puts it in. They don't count it. They call it on the rebound, but how about the 3-point shooting in this game? John Brown now 7 of 13, 54% from outside. You're shooting 54% from 3, and you're trailing. And then on the other hand, MacU, they're 9 of 22 in this game, over 40% from outside. Both teams are shooting the ball extremely well from 3-point range. After what was a incredibly slow start, teams were combined 1 of 14 from the floor to start. Well, they've started to rip them apart. Inside, easy look, and Seth Hurd is back in the game.
Yeah, all set up by Mikael Henderson. How much of a scorer he's been. He does average 2.5 assists per game, so he gives you a few helpers once he breaks down his defender.
Seth Hurd, a big body in the paint, a first-team all-conference player, and that ball from 3 misfired on the attempt from Josh Stewart. A 10-point lead for the Evangels. They get the ball back.
We'll see how long JBU can keep hanging around. You don't want to stay in this range where you seesaw back and forth, 8, 10, 12 points. You got to cut it down here quickly before MacU goes on another run.
Here's Smith on the drive. He gets fouled. And he's down under the hoop on the baseline.
I'm not sure. It was Josh Stewart was parallel in the air.
They tag him for the push. And for Stewart, that's going to be his third. So he'll likely come off.
Well, and Stewart's been checking in because Noah Taylor has 3.
And that's the 7th on the Golden Eagles as well. So
1-1.
The 1-1 in effect now for Eddie Smith, the redshirt freshman guard from Birmingham, Alabama. 74% at the line. He gets 10 points, 3 rebounds, and a couple assists tonight. Played at Miles College, but the redshirt freshman at 5'11", doing some good work here in this game, and really was the guy that started the offense for MacU in this game. They were 1 for their first 10, and then he came in and hit a couple shots, and things started to pour in.
Yeah, that's why you got to love 6 men so much. Guys who understand, guys who are fine coming off the bench. Eddie Smith has started just 1 game this year in 28 contests for MacU, and I don't think he would complain if you ask him about his role in this team. He's still 3rd on the team in scoring per game at 11.
He makes some foul shots. Like you said, the 6th man of the year in the conference, certainly playing a big role in this one. MacU, timeout from the ASN family of platforms. This is the SAC tournament.
Everything. At Pelche Key and Tyler, we're tough, never quits.
Alongside Brendan Snow, I'm Will Connerly. Jared Jones along with us as well. Here in this one, Evangels leading 56-44. John Brown trying to get back in it. About 12 to go.
I'm telling you, I'm just getting the sense that this game might start slipping away from John Brown if they don't cut in to make it more of a 7-6-point game here in the next 2 minutes before the 10-minute mark.
Well, that'll help get the ball in the hands of a guy who's had a good game tonight. Malachi Reeves getting to the lane, and he has had an impressive 20-point effort in this one.
Yeah, Manyang no longer in the game for MacU. Seth Hurd back in, not as much a shot blocker.
Reeves nearly with the steal, instead going up, getting found, and a chance for an and one is D'Angelo Adkins, who pumped this place up a moment ago and now has a 3-point play opportunity.
Oh, yeah, well, no and one are made equally. That was one of the tougher and ones I think I've seen. It looked simple because he turned his back to us, but it looked like Drew Miller swiped the ball a little cleanly out of his hands, and he regathered and caught it in the air and still able to get the shot up and in.
An Oklahoma City, Oklahoma native from southwest Oklahoma State now here to MacU, a team that has won back-to-back meetings against this JBU squad. They've won a couple of regular season SAC championships, and A team that in 2016, well, they were able to get the NAIA title. And, well, if they're a team that can continue and perhaps get a big upset tomorrow, they would feel good maybe about their chances once again.
Yeah, but again, it all comes down to finishing up this game today. And
no doubt.
You know the test ahead of you.
No doubt about it. JBU, obviously, with some hardware. 2005, they were able to win it all.
Yeah, the Student Athletic Conference is a very strong conference. Texas Wesleyan won it in 2017 and 2006. This conference produces national champions.
And they've got the number 2 team in the country as well. The winner of this game will take them on, and Langston coming up tomorrow night. And like you said, very much still a ball game, especially because we're going to be hanging out at the foul line quite a bit around this last 11:36. 8 fouls committed on the Golden Eagles, have committed 5 for the Evangels here in the second half, and we're not even midway through this second half either. And Malachi Reeves, he has taken flight here today. 20 points, and he's been able to stay on the floor, hasn't committed a foul. Back-to-back 20-point games in the SAC tournament certainly helped his cause and his squad. That 3 is fired short, and big old Seth Hurd on the glass. Eddie Smith, tough mid-range, can't connect, rebound by Tyron Collins. Turns the corner, going up and getting fouled on the drive is Zotting. The freshman guard out of Springfield, Missouri, went to Kickapoo High School, played at Fort Scott Community College, and he's a guy you want at the line, Brendan. 80% at the stripe this season.
Yeah, and I'm thinking how JBU can keep cutting into this lead as it's now down to 11. And in both the games, they played MacU just a week and a half ago, and today Lucas Gabani just hasn't got it going at all. He played about 13 minutes in the last matchup, only scoring, I believe it was 4 points. In this game, he's the starting center really for this team. Just 2 points, 1 rebound for Gabani down there. They're going to need some production and numbers put up from someone down low. It can't just all be Reeves and the guards.
And it's hard to put it up down low when you're going up against Seth Hurd and Magok Manning, but like you said, that's an X factor and probably a reason why MacU's been able to get the best of them a couple of times this season already.
And we've also seen the MacU defense leave Tyron Collins just wide open, the other forward. They left him wide open from 3 a couple of times, and he airballed both of them. 0 for 2 from 3, 2 of 6 from the field. So MacU kind of picking their matchups, knowing who to guard and who let shoot.
Yes, and Reeves for sure on the top of the scouting report, you would think, but to his credit, a 20-point effort for him thus far, and his team just down 10 with 11 to go. Very much within an arm's reach if they can put together a good run. And 3 balls strong from Henderson, who's got 17 points, most of which came in the first half. Here's Reeves, ball is loose, and it's turned over right on the baseline. It was Calavan who wasn't able to pick it up and run the other way with it, so John Brown with the ball, a chance to cut it to single digits. And here comes back into the game Magok Manning.
And he'll match up with Lucas Gabani underneath. JBU's a good chance here to get it within single digits.
We get it to the big man Gabani with Manning defending, and they try to feed it back inside. Not able to corral it. Turnover back to Henderson, who's got 17 along with a pair of assists. Manning with 13 and 6. It's checked back in. Sia Lewis gives it out to Henderson. The runner doesn't go. Rebound on the other side from Otting. Reeves off to the corner to Noah Taylor. Back out for Stewart. And he comes up empty. Manning on the glass. He now has 7 boards.
And really no Golden Eagle even crashing the offensive glass at all. We talked about that in the first half. Only had 1 offensive rebound.
Manning for 3. He's pulled the trigger quite a bit from outside. Now 2 of 6 from downtown. Lewis getting to the rim, comes up empty, but Quentin Woodson cleans it up. An all-freshman selection a couple of years ago in his 3rd season with the team. Gabani out to Stewart. Stewart. Reeves trying to spray it. And they come up with a big offensive rebound. 3 again off the mark, but Reeves puts it back in. Good time to have your 2nd offensive rebound of the game, and it turns into points.
Yeah, that's sensational, just hustle and effort from Malachi Reeves. He's hanging out around the 3-point line most of the possession, but sees the weak side on the crash. Finish it in the air, and that's what Coach Besha is yelling about right now, is crash the board on offense.
Lewis with Reeves defending. Once isolation takes a screen. They switch, drive, strong. Another near offensive board, but a shot clock violation instead. Quentin Woodson's been a monster down low. It's Woodson, Manyang, Hurd. I mean, this is a team that provides such difficult stress on your offense and defense in the paint.
Yeah, because all 3 guys kind of play very different styles as well. Ragak Manyang's been around the perimeter offensively, inside defensively. Quentin Woodson's been flying around for the rebounds, doing the scrap work, just kind of sitting in open spots. And Seth Hurd to try to get it to be a one-on-one scorer.
Drive inside, good take by Collins. He goes right at Manyang, who commits the foul, and it will just be his 2nd. And a couple of foul shots coming up from Collins, who shoots 73% at the foul line. And, well, JBU, after scoring the first 7 at the foul line, they're now 9 of 10 on the day. It's been a 45% day from the floor. Both teams over 40% from the floor, and both teams have made nearly all their foul shots, and that trend continues with Collins knocking down the first one.
But again, for the past, it's been 4 or 5 minutes now, John Brown yet to kind of get over the 9-8-point hump in the deficits. 9 points right now, another free shot, make it 8. But then they haven't been able to string together consecutive stops on the other ends, especially giving up the offensive rebounds.
So Collins going for his 6th point, but like you said, more importantly, trying to cut it to an 8-point deficit with about 8 to go. Here for JBU, the number 6 seed. But they're trying to punch a ticket to a title game. They'll try to come back. Or can MacU hang on? Well, you should hang on with us for this final stretch to find out. Manyang. Inside, off the glass, another bucket for him. He's had a game, 15 points.
Yeah, might have got away with a little bit of a step or two when gathering on the move.
Reeves, crossover, out to the corner. They get it to him. He turns. Finds Miller, and the runner's off the mark. Manyang with the board. Taken back away, though, by Otting. And he's not able to finish the runner off the turnover.
Great job by the Evangels defense. They are running the Golden Eagles off the 3-point line. How often Malachi Reeves and Drew Miller want to pull it, but they have to pump and try to drive.
Manyang trying to attack Reeves, who has 22, and it's stolen. Drew Miller up the floor. He goes up, and the ball swiped away by Henderson. It will stay on this end. Manyang 15 points and 9 rebounds now. One shy on the glass of a double-double. A 10-point lead. JBU with the ball, and it's Reeves who gets swatted from behind by Manniang. 6.5. MacU looking to extend. They get it to Hurd, who hasn't had the opportunity to play much tonight with foul trouble. Manniang has, though, and he reins in his third triple. McGuck Manniang, 18 points, 9 boards. He is doing it all as we take a timeout from the ASN family of platforms. This is the SAC tournament.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Well, in the biggest game of the year for MacU, it's been McGuck Manniang, who's had his biggest game of the season. Alongside Brendan Snow, I'm Will Connerly, and Brendan, man, he has done it all. Inside, outside, at the line, defensively. 18-9 right now for the big man.
Yeah, he's really getting it going. He had his season high he had just a week ago against Texas Wesleyan back on the 29th on Thursday. He had 16 and 10, putting up a similar game today.
Good bucket from Collins, which cuts it to an 11-point deficit. Collins now with 8. Here's Lewis. Off to Henderson, inside to Hurd, and an easy finish for him.
Still just such aggressive defense from MacU, denying passing lanes, up on everyone on the three-point line.
And there is a 3 knocked down from Otting. Didn't have much room, but he's able to spray it from outside. Good shot from the freshman. Cuts the deficit to 10, but just 5 to go. Manniang off to Hurd. Hurd turn around, and how about it from mid-range? Man, the forwards today have been killer.
That's a high arcing shot from the 6'6" Seth Hurd. Just turned and just shot it straight over. There's Malachi Reeves defending.
The guy who gets 12.5 points tonight to lead the team. Quick 3 triggered, and it doesn't roll from Miller, but they get an offensive rebound. Another shot for Reeves, and that's off the back iron and rattles out. But Seth Hurd from mid-range, he got it too. The assist was by Manniang. Nice connection and really nice story of what's happened in this game. They've had 11 offensive rebounds. That's your forwards going to work. They've made 10 threes on 25 attempts, including Manniang making 3. And now it's back to Hurd, and he's trying to be a closer. He wants to put it away. Back to Seth Hurd, and he does it again.
He took it right away from me, Will. I was going to say the closer. They had Seth Hurd come in, get some easy buckets, go to him on the block, go to what you do best. Now that he's kind of fresh, he's missed a lot of the game with foul trouble.
The 6'6" senior, a body in the paint. And so is that man, Malachi Reeves, who continues to play hard. He's got a game-high 24 points from the ASN family of platforms. This is the SAC tournament.
everything. At Pelche Key and Tyler, we're tough, never quits.
We're back in Fort Worth, Texas at the Sid Richardson Center in the 22-7. MacU Evangels on their way to winning their 7th game in a row, shaping up to be what a lot of people expected. Number 1 versus number 2 in the Sooner Athletic Conference. Many people would describe what we could see tomorrow, barring something wild over the last 3:36, as a banger tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
No, if MacU's able to hold on, I'm definitely looking forward to that matchup with either team against Langston. I've seen Langston 3 times this year, and they feel like the clear-cut favorites, but MacU can fight hard. They kind of match up pretty well, and if Manyang has a game like he's having today, tomorrow, anything's possible.
Yeah, Langston did blow out MacU both times this year, but they've done that to everybody. But how about Michael Henderson out from the corner?
Yeah, he's been a lot quieter here in the second half, but he's still up to 17 points after hitting his third 3-ball.
So when MacU played Langston, the team that they're on their way to playing tomorrow night, a team that is regarded as not just the number 1 team in the Sooner Athletic Conference, but they're a top-ranked team in this nation's number 2 team in the country. It was 79-60 when the two teams played in Oklahoma City, and MacU hosted them. So it was, near 20-point loss in that game at home. But then they went to Langston, Oklahoma, and, Langston laid it to them, 91-55. Langston got the victory. However, they'll try to beat them tomorrow in what should be a fun championship game as Reeves steps out, and it's a turnover.
The Sid sideline, me and Jimmy the St. Christopher like to call it. It claims another victim. We'll have Jimmy and Jared on the call for the next game, the women's tournament's side of the bracket.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're enjoying some basketball, there's a lot more of it coming up. The women's semifinals, 2 more coming up. And those are going to be a lot of fun as Reeves lines up another shot. It's strong. And then we'll be on that call this evening for the second semifinal as it's put in by Collins. And like you said, the Sooner Athletic Conference, as good as it gets at the NAIA level, doesn't just produce great teams, but many times in recent memory, they've been national champions at this level. And it's been fun to see. And like we've said, tomorrow night, our guy Jared will be on that call as well. 6 o'clock for the championship game.
Yeah, both men and women's championship games here tomorrow. Just fantastic basketball here in Fort Worth. I think it's awesome that they started to move the tournament around a little bit. I was getting tired of it always being in Oklahoma City.
A steal there by Miller. Kick out to the corner, but another victim claimed. Stepping out on the sideline.
It moves. They don't know it.
And it's tough, right? When the three-point arc got moved back a few years back, it started happening a little bit more. And, of course, with how many times we've seen MacU pulled up from logos today. I mean, they've made 11 three-pointers. They want to extend the range, but there they turn it over. 74-61, Evangels lead. We'll be right back from the ASM family of platforms. This is the SAC Tournament.
Everything. At Pelche Key and Tyler, we're tough, never quits.
Surely we're happy to be with you here in Fort Worth, Texas, 74-61. The Evangels, who just led by a couple at the break, have put it together in the second half, and we ask our expert, Mr. Snow, why has that been? What's been the difference in this second half?
Well, still the three-point shooting has been really strong for Mid-American Christian, 11 of 26 from three, forcing turnovers, JBU 17 turnovers, and then the offensive rebounds 11-6, an advantage of the Evangels. John Brown's gotten here in the second half, but still hasn't meant much.
And then you've got Man Yang. He's been a big difference, right, on the hardwood tonight. He started the second half, if you're just joining us, with 7 straight points, and that kind of set a tone coming out of the locker room. It's actually been Michael Henderson who's led the way with 20 for MacU, and then Man Yang, who has 18 points and 10 boards, a season best for him, and a double-double for him as well.
Yeah, season high in points, and then the rebounds now tie his season high, so one more board would give him a new number on the campaign.
And playing his best ball, they certainly know that they'll need it coming up tomorrow night. But a great sign for the 6'10 forward who played more early out of necessity with their leading scorer being in foul trouble and Seth Hurd, but he stayed on the court certainly with excellent play. And just a minute and 17 seconds left. A whistle is called. It is a foul by Otting. But this one, it's going to be wrapped up 74-61. The Evangels going to move on to that championship game, and an impressive effort for them. And, of course, after the game, we're going to have the pleasure of speaking with Magak Man Yang, a guy 18-10 in this game. And, well, a guy, you mentioned it, coming into this game, not a ton of threes on the year, but, well, he makes 3 in this game. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, and you can tell he's a natural little bit shooter. He doesn't hesitate too much. He takes his time. He does take his time to get it going, but he doesn't hesitate on the shot. He catches it in rhythm. It's a different kind of rhythm.
And you can take your time, that 6'10". Who's going to block you, you know? That one's fired and left short. But I know exactly what you mean, Brandon. We'll talk to him about that during the postgame, but willing shooters, not hesitant. He catch and shoot in rhythm, and it looked pretty good.
Yeah, because when he gets those opportunities in the offense, it puts pressure on the defense. They can't kind of halfway go out there. They have to fully close out. When you're shooting that confident, when you do take time and think about it, and that's when you're likely to miss it.
And he hasn't missed much today at the foul line either. He's now 6 of 7 at the stripe. Going for 20 on this foul shot. Yeah, make it a 20-10 game for Magak Man Yang. He comes off and, well, impressive effort from him today. He comes off with about 50 seconds to go, and he'll come here to the broadcast booth shortly. We'll talk to him on the postgame show. And of course, turnaround for these teams coming up in about 24 hours. We'll have this championship game come up, and for JBU, they will have Mr. Malachi Reeves to the foul line. An impressive tournament for him. Had 20 in the quarterfinal. He has 24 right now, looking for a couple more at the stripe. And he's able to connect on the front end.
Yeah, give a lot of credit to Malachi Reeves. Again, just a sophomore. He could be a real problem next year if he's coming back for this JBU team, along with Drew Miller, who's also a junior. Them two could be back next year, kind of little splash bros of the SAC.
Oh, yeah. And he's 6'4", sophomore. Drew Miller, 6'5". These are shooters, bigger shooters. And for a guy like Reeves from Lexington, South Carolina, went to River Bluff High School, played at Link Prep. He's been offered by North Greenville. But tonight, that's not what the story's going to be. It's going to be about the Evangels of MacU, who win a third consecutive meeting against this JBU team and set us up for the number 1 versus number 2 teams in this Sooner Athletic Conference coming up in the championship game tomorrow, as Terrence Gaines will head to the foul line. And the Evangels did a great job in the second half, of forcing the issue. And it was really Henderson who did work in the first half, Manyang in this second half as they empty the bench.
Oh, yeah, Coach Besha signaled over to Coach Josh Gamblin, told him he's fouling because he wanted to get his seniors a chance to walk off, get an ovation. Tyron Collins and Noah Taylor, the two seniors who careers end here today.
And they made that special run here to the semifinal, getting a quarterfinal upset. With 13 seconds left, they'll dribble it out, and that will do it. We thank you so much for tuning in here this evening. The Evangels win 78-62. We will have Magak Manyang coming up, joining us on the post-game show. On the other side of this timeout, here from the ASN family of platforms, this is the SAC Tournament.
Everything. At Pelche Kia and Tyler, we're tough, never quit.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Back with you here in Fort Worth, Texas. An impressive effort today in this semifinal matchup for MACU. They move on to the championship game. 78-62, they get the victory, and we're now joined alongside Magak Manyang. Thanks for joining us. Impressive effort today. You get a season-high 20 points, 10 rebounds as well, and you make 3 threes. You were feeling it out on the floor. And tell us a little bit about your performance today. How'd it feel?
It was basically for my teammates, for real. Like, I was just out there hooping. They passed me the ball often, and I just had to knock it down. It was a big game for us, and we wanted to get to the championship game, for real. So it wasn't really me. It was basically a team effort. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And you guys came out and were really strong on the glass. And With Seth getting those early fouls, it really challenged your group to say, hey, let's continue to push it. And was that a big factor in this game, you having to step up in terms of foul trouble?
Yeah, honestly, Seth is a great player. He's been big for us all year, and this one game wasn't really for him. So basically we had to step up as a team, and it was basically my night. But I'm happy we got the win, and he got his mojo going towards the end. But we need that tomorrow for sure.
Absolutely. And speaking of mojo, you were feeling it from beyond the arc a little bit today. 3 3-pointers. Tell us a little bit about it. Not a lot of guys at 6'10" can stretch like you just did.
Yeah, honestly, my coaches, they always, it's something I came in with, they're always, you can shoot the ball really well. So we got in the lab often and then got the shots up. So I appreciate my coaches for getting it up and helping me get my shots up. It was falling tonight. I'm happy. We got the win, basically.
Well, hey, we know you guys get Langston tomorrow for the championship game. We saw them in game 1. You guys fell short to Langston twice this year by a little bit of lopsided scores. What do you think about round 3, the adjustments? How have you changed the player and as a team since last time you played Langston?
Langston's a great team, first of all. Like, they've been #1 the whole year. We've tried to catch them as much as we can. We fell short twice. I think tomorrow will be a team effort. It won't be just one person because they're a great team. They play together. We're going to have to execute our plays and do what we got to do tonight. As we did tonight, we got to do better tomorrow. We most likely need Seth Hurd tomorrow for sure. But, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Magak, appreciate you joining us, a young man who grew up in Australia, now at his 3rd school, the game of his season here tonight. We really appreciate you taking some time to join us on the postgame show.
I appreciate y'all, man, for having me. Thank you.
No doubt about it. That's Magak Manyang joining us on the postgame show. He was extremely happy, and hey, why not 20 and 10?
Yeah, right before we got on air with him, he got almost dogpiled by his teammates, kind of celebrating, jumping, and getting them loud.
Absolutely. They were all fired up, dancing. We hope you continue to do that. And join us in the Sid Richardson Center for the next 2 semifinals coming up after this. From the ASN family of platforms and from Mr. Jared Jones and Brendan Snow, I'm Will Connerly saying so long from Fort Worth, Texas.